Okay, I had to go back and reteach myself how to do this thing. This is what I get for trying to do these things late at night to show you. Anyway, got it figured out. You're gonna like this. This is cool. Okay, so I'm on my top of basement footing. I'm gonna do a floor. My subsill plate, top basement footing level. Let's give it a 4-inch offset. Okay, and now I'm gonna go pick walls, and I'm gonna give it a 1/2 inch offset. Extend into wall to core, and I'm gonna pick these 3 walls, but I want to toggle the direction of the offset. Guess I should have done it when I first placed it. Oh, that one was right to start with. Okay. Well, that one didn't. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's get it lining up on the on the outside edge of the stud, inside edge of the sheathing. Okay, so I've got those done. Now I can pick lines or draw lines, whichever one you want to do. Um, well, okay, before I start that, you're going to have to do this in 2 operations. You're going to have to do these 3 walls in one operation, and in this wall in, well, you may not have to. You might be able to do it in just one operation. Yeah, I think you probably can. Just coming this way, you want to make a stop right here at this line. If you look at your south, or excuse me, your north elevation, you'll see where the footing steps up. That's that line right there. Over here, you may or may not have that dimension in your plan. I don't know. But if you look at your east elevation, you'll see the step in the footing. That's where you want to stop. And it's 12 feet in based on the concrete wall, which there's a little bitty line right there. Okay. So let's go ahead and go pick lines. All right. So I'll pick that one. And the edge of the floor slab, which will be the edge of the insulation. Okay. And now I've got to uh, do a little trimming on mine because I've already got this one down here in the left side. So if you do it all in one operation, you can just go all the way around. And let's come back to here and trim here. Okay. Now, I've got 3 different sections that I just dropped in here. They're temporary section views so that I can see all my walls at one time, what I'm going to deal with. Like I said, I've already got this one here built previously. Okay. If it asks you if you want to cut the wall geometry, you're going to tell it yes, and it may not cut it. It may cut it, it may not cut it. I don't know. I'm seeing it happening both ways. So I'm going to tell it yes, but it didn't cut anything. So let's go to this section. There's the floor I just put in, but it did not cut the geometry. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go with a join. And let's see if we pick that first and then that. Yes, bingo. That's what we want right there. Okay. And so now I'll go to my other section. And I'm going to go back, join that to that. And I'll come over to this side and go that to that. Bingo. That's what I want right there. And I want it to come back to the edge of the sheathing, out to the edge of the insulation or the floor slab that we created. That's what we want. So check all of your sections and make sure that that looks good. Whew, that's good. I like that. It finally worked. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Next one, we'll get on to structural floors. All right, now we're going to do some floors on the first floor. But first, we got to hide some stuff and cut into our walls. If you look at sheet A8 wall section at dining room, you see a 2x4 sill plate underneath your floor joist system. And then that's also replicated at sheet A7 wall section at study. And basically, it's anywhere there's a full height concrete foundation wall that comes up to the first floor system. We got to have a sill plate. There's a couple of different ways to deal with this. One way is to edit your walls systems so that you can move the bottom of the wall up, down. Like I think we did that last semester with some of the stuff. What that means then is you have to go around and you have to raise the interior of all of your wall pieces. And in a case like this, you'd end up having to split your wall into two separate walls to raise the bottom. I'm trying it this way this semester. I think it's going to work out cleaner, neater in the long run. But like I said before, wherever you go to work, they're going to have a way that they want you to do it. So that's the way you'll do it when you go there. But this is one way that I think it's going to work. And what you're seeing right here is one that I've already done. I've got a floor system that I made. I made a copy of the generic 10-inch, but I duplicated it, made it 11.5 inches because we have a 2x10 floor joist, which is 9 1/4, 3/4 inch subfloor, and then a 1.5 inch sill plate underneath it. Gives me 11.5 inches. And what I did is I duplicated the material type that we created earlier, the subsill layer. I created a new one. I just copied it, renamed it to floor void layer. Still got it set at 99%, okay, transparency. And the reason I'm duplicating it is because if somebody else were to look at my file and see just one material type for, void, whatever, I would not want things getting confused. So I'm trying to keep things, as straight as I can. Okay, so we created that one. You're also going to need one that is 10 inches thick. So while you're here, go ahead and duplicate it and make one that's 10 inches thick. Oh, sorry. I guess you could edit your generic 10. I'm going to call it void and change that to 10 inches thick. And uncheck structural material because this is not going to be a structural material. So uncheck that. Okay. Did that change that? It did. Let me change it back. Okay, so now I showed you that one I've already got done. Let me show you the way I did that. All right. When you create this, right here under the kitchen area is where the foundation wall changes levels. So down below this way, it's full height. Up here, it's a step coming up. So you can look at your elevation and see where that's at. Same way over here, and I changed the view depth of my, I temporarily changed the view depth on my floor plan. I made it top of garage footing for the bottom and the view depth of it, so I could see the concrete wall down below. Okay, so let me go back and select that. Okay, when you go around and pick your walls, you may have to do an offset of a 1/2 inch on some of them. It may be easier to just draw the lines and pick the lines, but what we want is we want the edge of the stud the outside edge of the stud, but the inside edge of the sheathing. That's going to be the extent of our floor, because if you look at those two sections from the drawings, you'll see that the sill plate, the sheathing, oh wait, I'm sorry, my bad. I need to back up on that because the sill plate in the floor system is outside the sheathing. Woohoo! Glad I went back and looked at that. So I will have to edit that. Let's see, can I? That is not quite right. Okay, I will go back and change mine, but I want to show you that's the extent of it. When you check it, yes, you want to cut void into the walls, okay? In section 8, here's what we're going to get right here. There, okay. It will cut into the wall, but we want it to be over to that edge, outside of the sheathing, outside edge of the sheathing. So I'll have to go back and edit mine, and then we'll come back and look at it. What I picked for the extents of my floor there, of course, that's the edge of the concrete there, the concrete foundation wall. And I just came over to center of this wall, center of core. It just made it easier to pick going this way. And then this one was the edge of the concrete wall coming over this way. Just made it easier to pick. And then the rest of this area we'll do with the 10-inch floor so that it will cut out the walls for our floor system. Okay, so I'm going to make those changes. You can build those walls, and then we'll come back with our next video, what we're going to do.